the patient in terms of like taking care of them, you're kind of expected to lead the conversation in a way. Now, as a new nurse, this can be very intimidating, okay? I'll be standing there near the nurse's station, you know, on the verge of pissing, shitting, and throwing up. Because it's kind of like public speaking in front of your coworkers. When it comes to rounds, you want to include the information that is most pertinent towards the, the patient's discharge. You don't want to include, unnecessary or frivolous information because you're just going to sound like you're rambling and you're going to lose the attention of the treatment team. All right, 4750, Emily. Okay. Stop shaking, dumb bitch. Mr. Gerald Creer, here for a motor vehicle accident with cervical fractures and a subsequent subarachnoid hemorrhage. He was driving on 495 and he got rear-ended by a gray Toyota Camry, tan leather interior, pretty good gas mileage, 6 cup holders. What about the patient's condition? Is he still on the ventilator? Yes, he's still on the ventilator, and he's on a cardine drip. His wife has been very involved with the care. They were having marital issues these past few months, but this tragedy has kind of brought them together. They had problems when he found a tape of her sleeping with their son's tennis coach. So, yeah. She's a Gemini, so. Okay, yeah, okay. We don't really need all that extra information, all right? Just tell us what's relevant towards the patient's plan of care. Right, of course, the plan of care. Okay, keep going. The patient hasn't had a bowel movement in about 4 days. He's gonna have an abdominal x-ray done. Okay. He's an avid Taylor Swift fan. Did you guys know that? He actually used to love her quite openly, but then his friends would make fun of him, and ever since that incident at the 2020 New Year's party, you guys know what I'm talking about, he kind of distanced himself from those people. He was actually listening to Enchanted when he got rear-ended. It was during the bridge, which is a shame because it's actually the best part of the song, He has posters hidden under his bed, and how the f*** does she even know that? But on the other hand, you also don't want to leave out too much information and be vague because that's not helpful either. All right, 4750, Emily. Okay. Mr. Gerald Creer. He is in the hospital. Do you care to elaborate? Yeah, sure. He is a patient here. Yeah, we know that. And why exactly is he here? He is here because he is ill. And it really sucks for him. Okay, let's just move on. As a new nurse, you kind of have to carry yourself with just a little bit of fake confidence because no one wants a nurse that seems new and unsure. Now, that's not to say that every time I walk into a patient's room, I'm just pretending to know what's going on, all right? It's not like, the patient's like, oh, I have liver damage. And I'm like, liver? What's a liver? I've never heard of that. But whether you've been a nurse for, a few months or a few years, there's bound to be things that you haven't encountered yet. There's bound to be things that you haven't learned about yet. And you're gonna make mistakes, and hopefully those mistakes are not high risk. But if you make a small mistake or you observe something that might be concerning, you need to go about it in a certain way so your patient doesn't freak out and feel like they're not in good hands. Say I go into my patient's room and I ask them to turn so I can see their posterior surgical incision and I see that it's actively bleeding or it looks infected. I'm not gonna take a look at it and go, oh my God, Jesus Christ! I mean, patients are already anxious because they're in the hospital, so if you act anxious as well as their nurse, it's not really gonna be a good thing. I mean, can you imagine if your nurse walked in and immediately seemed like they had no idea what they were doing? So are you in any pain today? Yeah, I mean, I just have a little bit of a headache. Maybe like a 3 out of 10. Okay, all right, 3 out of 10, 3 out of 10. I can get you some morphine. Morphine? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is that right? I don't know. It's like 50,000 milligrams of morphine. Is that okay? 50,000 milligrams of morphine? Yeah, I mean, that will, like, take care of your headache, right? I mean, I guess so. I won't be able to feel my headache if I'm dead. Okay, yeah. Message received. Sounds like you're not really vibing with morphine. How about I get you something else? Heroin? Heroin? Yeah, I mean, heroin is a drug. And this place has lots of drugs. I mean, it's a hospital. Right? Yeah. Yes, it's a hospital. Right. I knew that. Kinda. Whatever. I'm gonna call the doctor, okay? Hi, hello. I'm calling for Mrs. Johnson in room 926. I was wondering if I could get a liter of heroin. Yes, 1 liter of heroin on the rocks, please. She has like a liver disease or something. I'm here for a broken collarbone! Okay, how was I supposed to know that? Alright, and also, can you be quiet? I'm on the phone. Right. Yes. Right. Okay, yep, thank you. What did they say? She says she's reporting me and getting my license revoked. Yeah, I think that's for the best. I agree. Speaking of the experience of being a nurse, not too long ago I was on a flight back from LA and I was watching Boss Baby 2 when all of a sudden I hear over the intercom, "Is there a doctor or a nurse on the plane?" And I was like, that's me. So me and my friend, who was also a nurse, we kind of looked at each other and she was like, I mean, we get up, right? Like, we have to get up. And I was like, yeah, I mean, we kind of have to get up. So we got up to help with the situation, and I think we did well. But, you know, just as new nurses, you're generally just nervous and unexperienced. So even though the situation pretty much went like this, "Hi, is there a doctor or a nurse on the plane?" Hi, I'm a nurse. I felt that the situation was gonna go like this. "Hi, is there a doctor or a nurse on the plane?" Are you a nurse? Yes. Are you sure? I am! I am. Okay. Okay. So, can you help out with the situation we have going on back here? Yes. Okay, are there any other nurses here? I personally am surrounded by a lot of people in the healthcare profession. You know, I have my friends from nursing school, my father is a physician, my mother is a nurse. And, you know, because I'm surrounded by so many people in the medical field, I often forget that what our job entails is often extremely gross to other people. Like when I'm talking about some of the things that I have to do during my shift to people who are not in the medical field, I'm very nonchalant about it because I'm just so used to it. But I forget that for a lot of people, my job is not the most palatable. So yeah, I was literally knuckles deep in this guy's okay? I won't say who, because HIPAA, right? But yeah, I gave him a big fat plump suppository, and boy, oh boy, did it work. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I have this guy log rolled on his side, right? And then all of a sudden I see a big brown monster head straight towards me, right? And then, get this, he starts peeing. So there's piss coming off one side of the bed, a sticky, you know, muddy swamp on the other side of the bed. I mean, I felt like I was in the worst water park of my life. Emily? So I am in there struggling, right? I mean, my patient, he was a linebacker in college, all right? And I'm holding him with one arm and trying to wipe his butt with the other. And let me tell you, look at these green bean arms, okay? They're not really gonna do that much by themselves. So the tech comes in to help me, right? And then get this, the patient starts passing gas like crazy, all right? I felt like I was sitting front row at a trumpet symphony. I was about to start conducting. Emily. Yeah, what's up? I'm trying to eat. Oh, right, yeah, sorry, that's my bad. I digress. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're thinking about going into nursing, it is a great profession. It's very fulfilling. You get to help people, and that's wonderful. However, you really, really have to be a very patient and understanding person. It is difficult on the days when you're trying to give meds to somebody for their well-being, and they start cussing you out and throwing phones at you, and etc., etc. Or when your patient rips off their external catheter, pees off the side of the bed, starts self-pleasuring himself, and then finishes off the side of the bed as well, and then you walk into the room